we can take action as a community to help people who otherwise probably wouldn't be able to ever pay us back, right? And that's probably the most fulfilling thing, to help people who may not have the means or resources, yet to get them into a higher level thinking. And these young people, by the way, walk away with a mission statement for their lives. Welcome. It is my honor and true honor to go ahead and open up a talk that's all about KW Cares and KWKC. We have honored people with us today, leaders of leaders. First, I would just like to introduce everyone in this ecosystem right here going live inside of the KWBRN. First, we have Kathy Nye, Executive Director of KW Cares, beginning her KW career in the year 1993 as a top agent in the Northwest Market Center in Austin, Texas. Kathy quickly gained experience in a variety of roles, managing a franchise, opening her own franchise, and then joining KWRI in the year 2005 as a director of franchise relations. And then she continued to help people all across the country operate and grow their businesses to great lengths. She also moved into her current role in the year 2009, and to this day, she is our leadership's biggest advocate. When Kathy isn't making new acquaintances and friends in our industry or touting KW's vision and agent-centric model, she is investing time with her family and friends, and her proudest role is being grandma to Emily and Grant. So definitely high five, Kathy. Welcome. We're so delighted you're here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. And
last month was my 27th anniversary of being with Keller Williams. And that's when I started real estate. I've never been with any other company. And I started, as she said, at the Northwest Market Center here in Austin as an agent. Went on to be a mega agent with a mega team. And I tell you a funny story. In 2000, we were the number 3 team in all of Keller Williams. But what's laughable about that is that the production we did then in 2000, that we were recognized as number 3 in the company, wouldn't even hardly get an award today. Because remember, that was 20 years ago. And we have gone on to much bigger and better things and people with great production. Then I stepped out to become a team leader here in the Austin area. And any team leader will tell you, once a team leader, always a team leader. And it's the most beloved job, except for what I do now. The job I do now, I'm honored and it's my privilege. And so when she mentioned I went to KWRI in 2005 as the director of franchise relations, what that meant was I helped all the new launching market centers, because I had launched 2 myself in California. I'd been a team leader, et cetera, like we've talked about. Well, the first year we launched 100 in 2005, and in 2006 we launched 125. Now, what happened in 2007? It was ugly, wasn't it? And so we had this thing called the shift, and we went from 125 to 65, then the next year from 65 to 35, because the leaders of our company recognized that instead of going out and continuing to open up and possibly setting people up to fail, we needed to stop and take care of the people we had and help them survive. So then, when we got down to about 30 market centers a year, we didn't need that job anymore. So I stepped out and became the executive director of KW Cares. And as I said, that is my honor and my privilege to this day to be able to do this.
Sure.
So I also teach FSO. with George Alpizar, and it is just a ton of fun. I love that. And Dana was in my class, and possibly some of you others have been in my class as well. And so if you have, I don't really like to read to you because I think it's degrading. But when she asked the question, what is the purpose of KW Cares? I do want to read to you what's in the FSO manual because it's very poignant, okay?
Okay.
And it says, KW Cares is the heart of Keller Williams culture in action, finding and serving, as Mo Anderson would say, the higher purpose of business, okay? Driven by donations from market centers across North America, this 501c3 charity provides emergency financial relief for Keller Williams family members and their immediate family challenged with life-threatening illnesses, natural disasters, and other catastrophic events. So that is the purpose of Keller Williams, is that when one of our family members or their immediate family members falls on hard times financially due to a catastrophe, an emergency, illness, car accident, houses burn down, cancer happens, heart attacks happen, and that's what we're there for, is because, as Mo Anderson says, the higher purpose of business is to care and share and give. And then I also love what Gary Keller says, that money is only good for the good it can do. So that's where we are at Keller Williams.
Amen. Isn't that amazing? And it's so true. Money is only good for the good it can do. So,
yeah.
High five.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Pardon me?
What are your thoughts on that? I saw your energy just uptick.
Right.
Oh, I'm in complete agreement with you, Kathy. And I reached out to Brandi on yesterday because it was so eye-opening for me going through the QOL Summit just last week when Gary Keller did the money exercise, and it hit me like a ton of bricks all over again. And now that we're on the subject of money, I just had a conversation with my financial planner today, and I was looking at the agreements. It said the first 1 million, a certain charge, the second 2 million, a different charge, and anything above that. And it just dawned on me that, wow, money it's a tool. It's a tool. And it's good for the good that it can do. And I'm just so proud to be affiliated and aligned with a company that share those values.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lorenza. That's awesome.
And so in terms of helping our agents in those times of need, if someone did experience that kind of jolting, sudden life event, what is the best course of action in order to strive to apply for such a financial resource that KW Cares has access to?
So if you go to kwcares.org, you can download the application. This is the first page of the grant application, and it pretty much walks you through step by step what it is you need to do. It starts with the criteria, and again, I'm not going to read anymore. I want to talk to you about that. This is needs-based. We would not be a 501c3 if we didn't follow the IRS's regulations. So it's needs-based, and it's for people who have these life events, and at the time, financially, they just can't cover them, or it set them back. And so that's the first thing, is that I don't want you to fill out all the paperwork because it's quite extensive if you have too much money in the bank and it's not needs-based. Here's the other thing, guys, and especially in the time we're in right now, we cannot replace lost income. So if you fall on hard times business-wise, what we might be able to do is get you a scholarship for both. But we cannot replace lost income. I just want to make that perfectly clear.
Sure, and that makes sense because then you would lose the 501c3 designation.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So here's the thing about filling out the application that I want to mention. And and here's the other thing. Sure, I want you to go to the website and print it and look at it, but you can call us at any time and we will walk you through it. I have 2 people full-time that work on grants all the time, and they're wonderful, and don't feel like you have to go do it and not ask us any questions, because that's just not the case. We're there for you, okay? So, but here's what I want you to know. It needs to be, in order for us to proceed, it needs to be filled out in its entirety, and here's the kicker. It has to be signed by all the appropriate parties, which means your team leader or your OP and the region, okay? Because if it's not signed by all those people, we just have to kick it back. So that's how you can get a grant. And sometimes grants are for tornadoes and hurricanes and wildfires. And sometimes, as I said, they're for cancer, car accidents, surgeries, homes burning down, all kinds of things like that. And we even do emergency grants for funerals if there's a need. As a matter of fact, Dana, we lost an agent day before yesterday in your region. And I'm trying to find out. I mean, he was in a car accident and 2 weeks ago, and he passed away this weekend. And I've been on the phone trying to find out if there is a financial need. Now, in this case, let me just give you an example without giving you a name. He was single, so there's not a wife and kids, okay? He was young. But what if his parents don't have the money for the funeral? Immediate family, by definition, first we give to the associate and their spouse or domestic partner. Then immediate family is defined by parents, children, and siblings. And, again, without mentioning a name, we have had in this COVID situation, we have had an agent who passed away from COVID-19, and his 32-year-old grown son that's married and has kids and didn't have all this extra money to pay for the service. We paid for the service. Again, it has to be needs-based.
Needs-based. Thank you for explaining that, because I can say I've grown up here and I never realized the gamut of awful challenges that KW Cares is really there for. I think that's fascinating.
Well,
really right?
Yeah.
And so, go ahead, Brandi.
Oh, I was just going to say it's quite a support system. And I think it truly is. I always think of it as the heart of KW. And it's really amazing to see that. The more we can get the word out, I think, on what KW Cares is about to people so that they know that it's there and it's that resource, the better. Because I think, Kathy, you've helped so many people through KW Cares, and those stories and the people who shared back what it's meant to them are really, really powerful.
Yeah. Well, to tie a bow around this and wrap this up, Dana, that's a great segue, Brandi, because here's how I want to end, and that's how to be involved with KW Cares. And the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is the awareness. And before the pandemic, I was having so much fun because I was in my element and I thought I was doing some good, and I was going around the country to like ALC clinics and cultural summits and the regional directors that invited me to come speak. And guys, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. Because the leadership of this company has done such a fabulous job in the last 5 years of growing the company. Congratulations, team leaders, OPs, ALC members, all you guys that have helped us grow the company. You're awesome. So what would happen is I'd be up on stage with, 300 to 600 people in a room. And I'd say, okay, would you stand up if you've been with Keller Williams 2 years or less? What do you think happened? More than half the room.
More than half, yeah.
More than half the room stood up. And they did not know anything about Keller Williams because our team leaders have so much on their plate. And if they don't have a big staff or they don't have a system, and we're happy to help with all that, they can't do everything. And with all these new people, they never heard of KWKC, didn't know what it did. So guess what? They didn't give. And so last year, that's why I went on the road show. Last year, for the first time, our donations went backwards. And that was a real wake-up call to us. And speaking of donations, I want to give you where we are for this year.
Okay, year to date.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, because June just now transmitted.
Right.
It's to June 1st. Okay, I'll pull it up on my phone. Anyway, here's the thing, guys. So to finish how to get involved, first of all is that, we kind of like you all to be ambassadors for KWKers in your market center. And what that means is, and I don't mean just one or two of you, I mean all of you. And what that means is, first of all, is we need to know who's in need. So if you see somebody in your market center that's in need, several things happen. A lot of it is, as leaders, and everybody on this call is a leader or you wouldn't be here. As leaders, sometimes we're too proud to ask for help.
Ashamed, embarrassed.
Yes, embarrassed, Lorenza, too proud. I mean, and or people say, oh, no, I'll be okay. Give it to somebody else who needs it more than I do. We've got enough to give you and the somebody else, okay? And so you need to help us because there's no way we can know everybody. So first of all, you need to be ambassadors in the market center. Let us know who's in need and show your support for KWKers, both that way, but also in green sheet donations, ladies and gentlemen. That is the easiest way for you to get. We'll take your check at the middle of the year, the end of the year, however you want to do it, your credit card, doesn't matter. But we'll take it any which way, okay? But the easiest way is go to your MCA and fill out of course, some of y'all may be on commissions already, and it's a pop-up. Do you want to donate to KWKers at this time? So whether your market center is using green sheets or you're using commissions on command, okay, just be sure that you donate whatever you're comfortable with from every closing. And that's easy for you because there is no pain because you don't give money unless you make money, if that's the way you want to do it. Now, I do want to say something. This is uber important. For those of you, and it may be almost all of you by now, who are no longer using green sheets and it's all on commission, on command, on opportunities, right? For now, you have to do it every closing. Used to with the green sheet, you would say, you check a box. I want to give 50, 200, 100, every closing, and it was automatic. But it's not yet on command. So just make sure that you check that box every time, okay?
Okay, that's good to know because there's, different systems. We're so used to the green sheet. Command is here, thank goodness, to stay, right? So that box has to be checked all the time.
Amen. So I'm looking for those stats. I can tell you, well, she sent it to me this morning. Dana, can you see any questions while I'm looking for this?
Sure. So while you're looking up those numbers, I would love to strive to transition into the KWKC. And
okay, I just found them. I just found them.
Okay.
And yeah. So as of June 1st in 2020, we have taken in 1,773,257, which puts us way behind the last few years. See, we usually take in 6, give or take 500,000. Okay. Well, this is 5 months of the year and it's not even 2. But I understand. Number one, we've had the change in how you give, just like you just said. And number two, I understand people are struggling right now. And so as of June 1st, we've given 72 grants totaling 1,216,265. So we're okay. We're okay. But your giving is the lifeblood of KW Cares. And now I'd love to turn it over to Brandi.
Sure, it makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing that, right? Because everything is economic models, right? In a company that has models, tools, and systems. So tell me if I'm hearing you correctly, Kathy. Typically, mid-year, it's normal and customary for KW Cares to receive more like 6 million, whereas
No, 6 million's for the year.
Oh, 6 million is for the year. Okay, fair enough.
Or 6.5. Or 6.5.
Okay, 6.5 for the year, and yet mid-year we're around 1.7 million versus being at 3, right?
Exactly.
Fair enough. So about half of typically where we should be.
Now here's the good news. If y'all all get on your knees and keep all the hurricanes away, we'll be fine with 4 million this year, okay? Now, Lorenza, that's your job because you live in a state that has had more hurricanes lately than
I was born September 12th is my birthday. So I generally spend my birthday in the dark.
Oh God. All right, Dana, thank you for the time.
Thank you. A lot of clarity there, truly, in the mission, how it works, right? Protecting that 501c3, the heart of KW. And really, I mean, look, it's a 501c3, and frankly, we all need write-offs, right? So it's the right place in the heart. It's the right functionality in your fiscal world. So it's a good thing for agents to pour in and show up.
But I do want to say, Dana, thank you for saying that, because here's something real important, and then I promise I'm done. Okay, guys, you need to have a local emergency fund in your market center. And that's probably not going to be tax deductible. But that's who we are, guys. We give just because we give from the heart, not because we get a tax write-off. Everything you send to Austin, Texas, to KWRI, you're going to get a tax write-off for. But there are certain things that KW Cares will not, the IRS will not let KW Cares pay for, and you need to be there for your agents. It's not because we don't have the money, it's because they need to know you care about them. They need to know. I know market centers that have paid people's electricity because they've fallen on hard times. I can't do that. We can't do that. There's all kinds of instances of times that you need to give to your agents, whether it's tax deductible or not. Does that make sense, Dana?
Amen. Makes perfect sense.
All right, thank you.
Perfect sense. We're a product of our environment, and people don't care what you know until they know that you really care.
How much you care.
Right? So Love it. Love it.
Really.
Thank you. The lovely Brandi, leader of leaders, KWKC. And so the mission, right, of KWKC, and I'm going to read just a little bit,
Go ahead.
is to empower and equip the next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs with the tools needed to let go of limiting beliefs, take action, and really live a big life. So you get to lead that party. And Lorenza also is very involved in not only being a student, but also leading a lot of young people in this. And it's my understanding that you are the director of KWKC, and it's certainly a nonprofit. It was founded by Gary Keller 5 years ago in 2015, and it was created really to empower the next generation. So I would just love to hear what's in your heart and what's in your head, like Gary always asks us, right?
Thank you, Dana, and thank you for this opportunity for us to share with this really special membership group. We're honored to be kind of called to do this. Dana and I have been talking for a little bit, and Lorenza, I'm just so excited. Obviously, I love your work as an instructor, and you're always a student of QL, and that's the most important thing, is that we're all on this journey together with these models and systems. And I think it's so fitting that Gary has basically shared his playbook with the world. This is his way of sharing it out to the next generation. And boy, do we need it, right? If there's any time in our history where we need that next generation to take up and take up the battle, the fight, the gumption to take us to the next level of what our world will look like, it's now. And so I just can't say how excited I am to be in conversations with so many young people who are experiencing so much so young, and how we can really help them through this. Because as you guys know, as entrepreneurs yourself, that many times we have those aspirations, we don't always have access to the resources and the training and the systems that are going to take us to the next level. And that's what QL is about. That's what KWKC is here to do and to provide. And so, Lorenza, would you like to share a little bit about the experience we just went through at the end of June with Gary and the QL Summit? Just to touch on what that was like, because I think it was really cool for the opportunity for us to blow out any goals that we had of having students join us. And we had over 800 people registered for that event for QL Summit. So that was pretty incredible, wasn't it?
It was it was, Brandi, it's really hard to describe the emotions that was around the summit. Obviously, we had so much going on at the particular time, and it was like the timing was absolute perfect. The QL Summit, it occurred shortly, approximately about a month ago, after the George Floyd killing. So I think it was needed. It was needed because we're in a point in our country where there is a great awakening, a great transformation that's occurring, and QL is actually being played out for our next generation of leaders. I mean, if you look at KW International, we have a prime example of the generation of next leader, hint, hint, Josh Team. And so I've been teaching QL here in the Carolinas for the past 4 years. And it's pretty amazing to see the transformation of the young adults who have been coming through our program. It's been growing by leaps and bounds every year that we have it. And I'm still getting phone calls from parents like, hey, you changed my child, or you helped my child discover who they are. And I'm a product of QL. I took QL back in 2007 in a little old dusty conference room in Concord with Mo Anderson. And at that particular time, QL was a 2-day course. And I remember sitting in the conference and I was in tears. I was so overwhelmed in my 20s with the information that Mo was giving, because it was, I mean, my life was literally changing. So I go back to that first QL Summit. I think my financial thermostat was probably around $45,000, which is a lot of money for a 24-year-old in 2007. And ever since I've taken QL, I've always made over six figures. So it changed my mindset. It changed my trajectory in life. It's what I would consider my defining moment. That was my defining moment. So whenever we had the opportunity for QL to be taught to young adults, I immediately raised my hand, because I'm able to relate to the young people who are coming through my class with my own personal story. I'm able to give them examples. I'm actually able to present myself as a product of QL, and I see myself turning into a little bit of Gary Keller every day. I'm really crazy. There's I have a black blazer on too.
Hey, Lorenza, didn't you also even grow your team? Didn't one of the people who've been through your QL come to you from QL? Yeah.
So one of my first events, I invited a cashier from a grocery store located right by my market center. I invited them, came through the class, and it just so happened he had a defining moment too, just like me. And we were able to change his trajectory. And he went to real estate school and came and joined the team. And he's been with me for 3 years, and is doing wonderful. So my plan for he's my replacement, because I can trust him with running my team, because he's been through the program. He's been through the experiences and the path that I chose to grow my business.
I love that. And that's not necessarily like the whole mission behind what we're doing, yet it's a beautiful part of it, because you guys as instructors have that opportunity to share with them what the models and systems look like, what the business looks like, and if it happens to be the right step for their career path, then it's wonderful that you guys are there for that too. So I'm thrilled that we have the support of QL and the concepts, and then now that we're able to offer this way for us to not only have QL, which is basically the first step, and then now they can join our QL grad community. They can get the coaching opportunity to have a coaching contract for 3 months that we subsidize and pay for them, and then also for them to then be eligible for scholarships from us, so that if it is, training that they need, a real estate license, starting their own business, whatever those things are, that we can then help them fund their mission, that we can now do that. So I'm just so excited for the next steps of what this organization is becoming.
So Brandi, out of my my last QL class that I hosted here in Charlotte,
yeah,
I actually had one of the MCAs, Crystal Lawson, had referred her daughter to our workshop, and just so happened that she went back and got a job within Keller Williams as our director of first impressions. So I would say that it's not only great for young entrepreneurs to come through and learn Gary Keller's playbook, but it's a great way of a community of young adults to be around other like-minded young adults, to be able to be a part of those conversations that frankly a lot of our young adults are missing in today's world. The conversations have been watered down to basically to just almost like videos, or watered down to like Brandi was saying, a lot of our young men and women are going through life without no direction, with no GPS, with no mission. And it was my desire to discover who I was at an early age, so I wouldn't go through my career with starting a career in my 20s and then relaunching another business at 30 and then going in another direction at 40 and losing a valuable amount of time. So I'm so grateful for QL for sharing with me the information that my parents didn't have the ability to share with me, coming from a working class family.
Wow. Well, we're so grateful for you, Lorenza. Thank you for sharing your heart and your time with all of these young adults. It means a lot. And speaking of that, I'd love to share a little bit about how you can get involved with KWKC. As we were just talking about being an instructor, that's one of the critical ways that you can become part of this, is that we need that next level of QL instructors to be on this with us and to start that journey. So if you go to kwkc.org/new instructor, it walks you through the steps that you can start becoming an instructor today. You order your kit, you watch some videos of Gary, and as we kind of first touched on, we just got finished with QL Summit where Gary teaches us Quantum Leap. And we had that recorded, we're editing that, we're making that into a product that we're going to offer out for a donation for Founders Day, which is Gary's birthday on July 21st, a new holiday that we're getting ready to launch. And so if you want that, we'll be able to offer that out to you. But first, we just love for you to be one of our instructors or to send young people to our events, because we want to help more students, more young people ages 18 to 28, really discover what that mission is and help them fund it.
Amazing, amazing. And you learn a lot as someone who's going through the modules and, and training content in order to grow into that person who can lead such a tremendous class for young minds. So it's really an outstanding opportunity. It really is.
Yeah, we talk about this. Lorenza probably has the same thought also, but Dana, you're going through this yourself. So you're mastering this models and systems at the same time because you want to be authentic teaching it. So it really allows you to be on that journey with QL. And like Lorenza said, since he took QL, just seeing that trajectory change because you've gone through it, you learn it, you internalize it, and then you're sharing it out. We all know that's the best way to learn. So we want that opportunity for all of you guys too. We'd love for you to join us.
Yes. So kwkc.org. Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Wow. I am so honored. This was like waking up on Christmas morning knowing that I got to hang out with you three. So we will also have the recorded version on our Facebook community. Thank you. And we're going to have the recorded version so that all of the notes can be certainly enjoyed and so that we can take action as a community to help people who otherwise probably wouldn't be able to ever pay us back, right? And that's probably the most fulfilling thing, to help people who may not have the means or resources yet to get them into a higher level thinking. And these young people, by the way, walk away with a mission statement for their lives. I mean, it's tremendous stuff, for such young leaders. So I'm grateful for all three of you. And I think my favorite soundbite is money is good for the good it can do. High five.
Yes.
Thank you, Gary Keller.
Yes, thank you, Gary Keller.
I just want to say thank you, Brandi. You've been doing a fantastic job with KWKC. I look forward to working with you more in the future.
Wonderful.
So I just wanted to tip my hat off to you. I know that we had a goal for the QL Summit, and we blew right through it. We did. And we're going to blow through it again on the next go round. And I'm just so proud to see all the young adults, but I was so proud to see so many young adults of color in
Me too.
QL Summit this year, and they walked away just absolutely just mind blown. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And Kathy, thank you for KWK Cares as well. There have been a number of agents in my office who have passed away from cancer or who have lost a loved one, and KW Cares has always stepped in to make sure we take care of our own. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Lorenza.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Wow. Well, we're a product of our environment, and the three of you have made it outstanding today. So from the heart, thank you. High five. We'll high five it out.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Lorenza, Brandi.